Well, welcome back to Soda City Live. More than 55 million people are living with Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. June was Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, and we want to make sure that we're still shining a light on the importance of taking care of those living with the disease. Joining me today, this is why I have a big smile on my face, Dr. Macie Smith, a licensed social worker, my friend, returning guest.
Yes.
And you're also a partner of Synergy HomeCare, and I know that's kind of how we got connected this time.
Yes.
But I just want to make sure I'm saying that you are an advocate for people living with Alzheimer's,
Yes.
for people living with different forms of dementia. You
That's
really
right.
are in the community, and I know that's such a passion for you.
It is.
Thanks for joining us again to talk about it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And that's why it was so seamless
Yeah.
to partner with Synergy HomeCare to meet people where they are. Many of the individuals living with Alzheimer's or some form of dementia, they're living in the community with their families. And so when I helped Synergy to develop the Memory Care Family Resource Guide, it was really in an effort to help support family caregivers throughout the caregiving journey. And you know, we just saw Elvis, and we think about music.
Yeah.
Music and memory and music therapy is a way to continue to connect families and those living with dementia, really in a seamless way. So that was a nice treat.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And I know that you have a lot of tips to share, but walk me through that process of making this guide, this memory care guide, and how that went. I mean, for some folks at home, if they have someone in their family, a loved one, who's maybe suffering from one of these diseases or conditions, I think a lot of people don't realize no one gives you a playbook on how to deal with this. You don't know until it happens to you sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
There are some early signs to look out for when we think about recent memory loss. Dementia itself and the progressive types, it's more than just memory loss. So it's forgetting names, forgetting faces, and when it starts to affect the person's life, not being able to communicate as effectively, just really having difficulty thinking through processes. So those are some early signs and symptoms. And so when families are experiencing this, they want to go one place and just to retrieve as much palatable, practical information and tips as possible. And that's what you'll find in the Memory Care Guide, just basic tips on how to continue to engage someone living with dementia. Because all too often, Hannah, you know, we focus on the disease or the condition and not the person. And so the practice that we incorporate is person-centeredness.
Yeah.
Being able to see that person first is so vitally important.
Especially for them too. They're feeling
Absolutely.
like they're a person and they're not just being labeled and identified by what they're dealing with.
Right,
Yeah.
because even if their brain is impacted, which it is, they can still feel, the heart is still solid.
Of course.
And so you feel people by connecting with them through the heart and the soul. And so that's what the Memory Care Guide helps caregivers do.
Well, let's talk about some of those simple tips and tricks that caregivers or loved ones can do to comfort those who are dealing with Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia.
Right. So the very first thing is, number one, of course, to see them as the person first. And then to establish and stick to a predictable routine, minimizing the change as much as possible, keeping their environment simple and calm so that way they can be independent. We want to think about how they feel in their natural environment, keeping their environment familiar and being able to offer them simple, familiar tasks. So affording them the opportunity to choose, and so that way we won't control them. Something as simple as wiping down the table after dinner.
Yeah.
Predictable, independent.
Can count on it. Almost.
Absolutely.
It's like a routine.
That's right.
routine is so
That's
vital.
right.
Well, Dr. Smith, I want for folks at home who are like, wow, that one-stop shop, as you kind of explained with this guidebook, how can they access it? How can they find it? Because, I mean, I'm sure it sounds appealing to a lot of people in this situation.
It is available for a free download on the Synergy website, and that's synergyhomecare.com/memory-care. Or they can also contact the closest Synergy to their loved ones. And I want to give you that number, and you can put it out there for them too. That number is 1-877-432-2692. We have over 400 franchisees in the country, and so they can reach out to their closest loved ones. But it is available for free as a free download.
My goodness. Well, you are always staying on top of it, and I love that everything you do has purpose and passion behind it. So appreciate having you on today.